On June 7th, 1992, sometime after 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 women disappeared from a home in Springfield, Missouri, leaving all personal belongings, cars, and the family dog behind, with no clear signs of a struggle. These women included Sherrill Levitt, age 47, her daughter Suzie Streeter, age 19, and Streeter's friend Stacy McCall, age 18. Despite a large-scale investigation, the Springfield Police Department has never recovered the women or found a conclusive crime scene, causing numerous theories to emerge over the decades. What happened to the Springfield Three? You're listening to Lurking in the Shadows. Welcome back, Shadows.
Hell yeah. Hey. If you're watching on YouTube.
I hope you can't hear my stomach.
Wow. We're going to have to get some food after this.
Yeah, we are.
Goodness. Some food, maybe, wow. Maybe a mid-afternoon coffee.
Yeah.
Well then. This case...
My stomach's really having the time.
It's hilarious. I wonder if the microphone can actually pick that up.
I'm curious.
If it can't, Kirsten's stomach's having a party.
Yeah.
And it's storming outside, so...
Yeah, it's about to hit us. Yeah.
It's going crazy.
So our lighting is not great today because it's very dark outside.
No. But this case has been on the list since, I think, the beginning.
It has been, I believe. Yeah. I think it was close to the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. And so Kirsten is finally covering it.
Yeah, this is one of those keep you up at night type of cases. Like, what the hell happened?
Yeah. I didn't know anything about this case.
Okay.
It was just on the list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It was on the list. So. And I was like, sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Type
it
of
is.
Thing, so.
All right, let's get it started. So the timeline of this story begins on June 6, 1992. Suzanne Elizabeth Streeter, who goes by Suzie, was 19 years old, and her best friend, 18-year-old Stacy McCall, had just celebrated a major milestone by graduating from Kickapoo High School together that evening. Both Suzie Streeter and Stacy McCall came from very different backgrounds, growing up in different family dynamics before their lives intertwined in elementary school, and then came together again at Kickapoo High School. Suzie was born in Seattle, Washington on March 9, 1973. Her parents divorced during her childhood. In 1980, Suzie moved to Springfield, Missouri with her mother, Sherrill Levitt, and her older brother, Bart. Suzie and Sherrill shared an incredibly tight, affectionate bond. Sherrill worked as a dedicated cosmetologist, and the pair had recently moved into the East Delmar Street home that they would eventually vanish from, which Sherrill was actively renovating at the time. And her mom, Sherrill, was a hairdresser.
Oh, cool.
Suzie chose to have a quiet dinner at home with her mother on graduation night before heading out to parties. Suzie is described as outgoing and fun-loving. She struggled slightly with reading as a child and was held back one year, making her 19 at graduation. In high school, she tended to hang out with a relaxed but also described as rowdy crowd. Stacy Kathleen McCall was born on April 23, 1974. Stacy was the youngest of 3 daughters raised in a highly stable, close-knit, protective family by her parents Janice and Stu McCall. Stacy was described as warm, upbeat, and full of positive energy. Stacy was driven and busy. She balanced school with 2 jobs, working as a secretary at the Springfield Gymnastics Center and occasionally modeling wedding gowns.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I actually worked with somebody who their previous job was one of those people who worked in a bridal gown shop and helped you pick out your dress and stuff.
I feel like that'd be a fun job.
Yeah, they said how much they loved it.
Yeah,
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, because you're kind of like being part of someone's, big
like
day.
Like really special day. Yeah.
And then the modeling she did was for like a local family friend's boutique in town.
That's cute.
Yeah. Unlike Suzie, Stacy was firmly rooted in a more conventional, popular high school clique. She was highly anticipating the college experience, planning to attend Southwest Missouri State University, which is now just known as Missouri State University, that fall to study and join a sorority. Suzie and Stacy first met in 2nd grade and quickly became inseparable childhood friends, frequently hosting sleepovers. However, when Stacy was 12, her family moved out of town for a short time, and by the time they returned a couple years later, the girls had drifted into different circles at Kickapoo High School. Despite traveling in different social circles for most of high school, the shared excitement of their senior year brought them back together. They renewed their close bond just in time to celebrate graduation together, a reunion that unexpectedly led them to the same fate that June night. Suzie Streeter and Stacy McCall attended high school graduation at the Hammond Student Center around 4 p.m. on June 6th. Suzie's mother, Sherrill Levitt, the third victim in this case, attended the ceremony. After graduation, the school provided an alcohol-free after-hours party in the building until 8 a.m. on the 7th that the girls chose not to attend because they had plans to meet up with another friend named Janelle Kirby to attend some graduation parties together.
That night?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because I think we went, didn't we go to, what was it called, post-prom?
We went to post-prom.
Oh, wait, no, this is graduation, so I don't know what I'm thinking of. I don't think we had a graduation party that went all night long at the high school.
No, they had like a little shindig after that I didn't participate in, but...
Yeah, it said they had, it was like all night, went until 8 a.m. the next morning.
They had nothing like that.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
No.
Between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m., the girls spent time with their families and had dinner with their families. Suzie took photographs that evening at her house with her friend Nigel Kenny before departing for the Kirby residence around 10 p.m. After having photographs taken with her graduation cake and receiving a Cocker Spaniel puppy as a graduation present, Stacy also left for the Kirby residence.
Oh, fuck me up.
I know, brand new puppy doesn't even get to spend time with him.
Oh, baby.
The girls had plans to sleep over at a friend's house that night and wake up early the next morning to visit the Whitewater Amusement Park in Branson, Missouri with a larger group of classmates. So this was kind of everybody's plan. The night after their graduation, they were all going to meet up together at a water park the next day. Around 11 p.m., the girls made their way to another graduation party in Battlefield, Missouri, which is a nearby suburb. At this time, Suzie's mom, Sherrill, is still at home. Sherrill talked on the phone with a friend at 11:15 p.m. about painting a chest of drawers because she was doing some remodeling. This is the last confirmed contact with Sherrill. The last party that Stacy and Suzie attended was at Stacy's friend's house, Michelle Elder, but it was broken up by Springfield police at 1:50 a.m. The trio of girls, so Stacy, Suzie, and their friend Janelle, returned to Janelle's house in Battlefield around 2 a.m., which is the house where the girls intended to sleep over at, but they found her house was too crowded with out-of-town relatives that came in for her graduation. So last minute, Suzie and Stacy decided to go back to Stacy's mom's house at 1717 East Delmar Street for the night. Suzie reportedly was excited to show Stacy her recently delivered king-size waterbed.
Good old waterbeds, yep.
It was very 90s. I always hated those.
I did. I hated them. My parents had one for a hot minute.
A girl I was friends with when I was younger had one, and I don't know. They were weird.
And then, yeah. Well, my parents were weird, but like the bed was weird, and they just kept then the frame and stuff, which it was a solid frame. Like it was a good, well built.
You probably need a solid frame for a bed.
Yes, like that. Old school frame. Yeah, it was nice. We kept that for a long time.
Suzie allegedly said to Stacy, "Follow me to my house," to which she replied, "Okay, I will." They are seen leaving in their separate vehicles. Stacy called her mom, Janice, to update her on the change of plans. The girls both arrive at the Delmar Street house around 2:30 a.m., and evidence would show they took off their makeup and changed out of their clothes. Sometime between 2:30 and 7:30 a.m., the three women vanished from the home with no signs of a struggle. Later that morning, around 8 a.m., Janelle Kirby called the Delmar residence a few times because Suzie and Stacy hadn't shown up yet as planned to carpool to the water park. But no one answered. Janelle is quoted saying, "I started getting worried because Stacy, she's so responsible, and so is Suzie. I know they just wouldn't take off without telling us they weren't going to Whitewater." End quote. So Janelle and her boyfriend Mike Henson show up at the Delmar house around 9 a.m. to see what's going on. No one answered when they knocked, but they found the door was unlocked, so they went inside, but the house was empty even though all three women's cars were still parked outside. Suzie and Cheryl's dog, a Yorkshire Terrier named Cinnamon, was still inside and appeared agitated. The only other abnormality the two noticed was the glass lampshade of the porch light was shattered, but the light bulb was still there and intact. So, like, the glass around it was shattered.
They didn't,
Like, somehow fell down, I guess. Unfortunately, Janelle and her boyfriend were trying to be helpful, and they swept up the broken glass.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Maybe the only evidence.
Yeah. Also, while they were still inside the house, the phone rang. So Janelle picked it up. An unidentified male was making highly lewd, profane, and sexually explicit comments. So Janelle hung up.
Ugh.
Immediately after, the phone rang again, and the same man made further explicit sexual innuendos before hanging up.
Ugh.
I don't know, the fact that this person just happened to call while two people are inside searching,
yes.
Like, it makes you wonder, like, is someone watching?
Listen, and how is my case just about somebody who wants to, like, call the family in?
Yeah.
With Larry Gene Bell?
Yeah.
Yes. Calling the family like a psycho.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It's either someone's watching or that was just really unfortunate timing. I don't know.
There's no coincidence.
Yeah.
And true crime.
Janelle did recall Suzie complaining about prank calls at the residence since moving in with her mom in the spring of 1992. But with no signs of Suzie or Stacy, Janelle and Mike decided to head to the water park without them. Stacy's mom, Janice, had been unable to get a hold of her, so she also traveled over to the Delmar house around 11 a.m. She was very alarmed by what she saw. Inside the home, Janice discovered highly personal items that the women would never, just leave behind. Janice found all three women's purses grouped together in Susie's bedroom. Stacy's purse was sitting directly on top of her overnight bag. Neatly placed on the floor, Janice found Stacy's wallet, makeup pouch, shoes, and jewelry. Most alarming to Janice was that Stacy's prescription medication was still inside her purse, something she never went without. The house looked as though the girls had successfully arrived home and safely prepared for bed. Janice noted their recently used makeup wipes were left out, and they had changed out of their graduation clothes into undergarments or pajamas. Both Sherrill and Suzie were heavy smokers, yet their cigarettes and lighters were left on the table. And Sherrill was actually described as a chain smoker, so her cigarettes being left behind is highly suspicious.
Yeah.
A chain smoker is not leaving without their cigarettes.
No, yeah.
Sherrill's small Yorkie Terrier mix, Cinnamon, was still inside the house. The dog was unharmed but extremely anxious, agitated, and barking constantly. In the bedroom, the television was left turned on, humming with static and snow, suggesting it had been left running overnight.
I hate that noise.
I know.
I hate that noise.
I know.
Oh, I cannot. That gives me the heebie-jeebies.
I know. Makes me think of Poltergeist.
Yeah.
So yeah, that proves that they were watching the TV at some point.
Yeah.
And then it came
She was
on.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 slats in the window blinds of Susie's bedroom had been physically separated, appearing as though someone inside had been peeking out into the yard.
Oof.
So it's what were they looking at?
Yeah.
Janice also listened to a newly recorded message on the answering machine left by an unknown male. Janice later described it as a highly strange and unsettling message, but when they had questioned her about it then, she couldn't remember exactly what was said. But because 1990s digital and cassette answering machines often lacked a complex save function, Janice accidentally triggered the delete function after it played. The 2 pieces of evidence in this case are erased, the glass and the message.
What the fuck, man?
And they're both not on purpose, you know, but it's just of course.
Damn.
It's a perfect storm.
A frustrating one.
Yeah. It is speculated that the message might have contained explicit taunting remarks about what happened or what was going to happen to the 3 women. But, we'll never know.
Yeah.
Too bad there's not some sort of technology today that could
go
just
back
somehow get it back.
Yeah, I know.
But who knows whatever happened to that answering machine.
God.
Seeing her daughter's car parked outside with all of her money, keys, and vital medication abandoned inside prompted Janice to bypass waiting around, and she immediately called the Springfield Police Department right from the home's landline. And then in Cheryl's purse was also $900 from her job at the hair salon. So people aren't leaving without that kind of stuff.
No.
When the first officer arrived on Sunday, June 7th, 1992, around 12:30 p.m., he saw no signs of forced entry, no blood, and no obvious struggle inside the home. At the time, law enforcement policy typically required waiting 24 to 48 hours to declare adults missing. The officer did not tape off the house or secure the perimeter. Up to 10 to 15 friends and family members walked through the house, sat on the beds, used the bathroom, and touched surfaces while they're all coming together to figure out what's going on.
Okay, yep. Let's just, yeah.
They drank out of glasses in the kitchen, touched the victims' purses. By the time forensic teams arrived days later, distinguishing the abductor's fingerprints or DNA from the visitors was virtually impossible.
Yep. Nothing they could do. Yep.
Nope. It took roughly 24 hours for the police department to realize the gravity of the situation.
Oh my god.
Once investigators cross-referenced that all 3 men's vehicles, keys, money, and medication were left behind, they finally sealed the house and escalated to an active abduction investigation. However, by that point, the damage to the crime scene was already done.
Yeah. Yeah, what? Yeah. What are you supposed to fucking do?
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. In the immediate aftermath, police casted a wide net, focusing heavily on inner social circles, family members, party attendees, and local crime figures. Bart Streeter, Sherrill's son and Susie's older brother, was questioned because he was actually estranged from his mother and sister at the time, so police thoroughly investigated him as a potential suspect. He was intensely questioned, provided a detailed timeline of his whereabouts, and ultimately cooperated fully, passing a police polygraph exam. Which, doesn't always mean something, but...
Yeah.
Stacy's parents were interviewed extensively to establish Stacy's exact habits, routines, and her history with Suzie. Janelle Kirby and her boyfriend Mike Henson were questioned heavily to reconstruct the morning timeline and provide descriptions of the voice on the phone, and they asked about the shattered glass. Henson said he only cleaned up the glass because Janelle was walking around barefoot. Which means, why are you going into your friend's house barefoot? But
yeah.
Police tracked down and interviewed the teenagers and parents who hosted the home celebrations in Springfield and Battlefield to confirm exactly what time Suzie and Stacy had left. Dustin Rekla, Suzie Streeter's ex-boyfriend, was one of 3 to 5 people police initially held a heavy interest in. Rekla had been recently involved in a local grave robbing and vandalism scandal, which drew heavy suspicion toward him and his friends. He was interrogated and given a polygraph test, so I guess he passed that, because nothing else ever came from it.
Okay.
Nigel Kenny, a co-worker and close friend of Suzie, stated she was, quote, a creature of habit and very particular about parking her vehicle in the same spot of the residence's driveway. Kenny believes that because Suzie's car was not in the carport as usual, someone else could have possibly been parked in her spot when she and Stacy arrived before dawn on June 7th. So maybe someone was already in the home.
Yeah, solid theory.
Dozens of residents on East Delmar Street were interviewed. One neighbor reported seeing a suspicious old brown van parked nearby, while another noted hearing a car backfire or a gunshot in the early morning hours. Police interviewed utility workers, milk delivery drivers, and early morning commuters who were active between 2 and 7 a.m. on June 7th to check if they noticed anyone unfamiliar or a suspicious vehicle or a struggle near the home, but nothing significant was reported. Due to the alarming, uncharacteristic nature of 3 people vanishing simultaneously, the FBI officially joined the case to provide federal resources just 2 days later on June 9th, 1992. In the first 2 weeks following the disappearance, the community response was overwhelming. A volunteer search headquarters was set up at the Hammond Student Center, which was the location where the girls graduated from. Over 2,000 local citizens, classmates, and family friends organized search parties. Teams focused heavily on the rural, dense, and heavily wooded areas surrounding Greene County and the city borders of Springfield. Volunteers walked arm in arm through tall brush, crop fields, and drainage ditches. Despite thousands of man-hours, searchers found 0 items of clothing, jewelry, or personal belongings linking back to the women. The geography of Springfield and southwest Missouri is heavily defined by karst topography, which features thousands of natural sinkholes, limestone caves, and abandoned water wells. Investigators feared an abductor would utilize these deep hidden natural fissures to conceal bodies quickly. The Springfield Police Department deployed specialized rescue teams, cave explorers, and rappelling units to lower themselves into deep vertical sinkholes and unmapped cave systems across the region. So they're really searching.
They're working, yeah.
Every accessible sinkhole within a multi-mile radius of the Delmar Street home and the girls' driving route was cleared with no results. Local authorities quickly expanded the search radius using regional assets. The Missouri State Highway Patrol flew daily helicopter grids over the city and rural counties using thermal imaging and infrared technology, hoping to find disturbed earth or hidden vehicles. Law enforcement dive teams searched local bodies of water, including nearby Lake Springfield and James River access points, dragging the water for any signs of the victims or throwaway evidence. In the weeks after the disappearance, police brought in specialized search dogs. Bloodhounds were given articles of the women's clothing from the Delmar Street home. The dogs tracked scents around the immediate yard, but the trails went cold right at the edge of the driveway, strongly indicating the women were loaded into a vehicle. In late 1992, Crime Stoppers launched a widespread tip campaign. Despite receiving hundreds of calls, the contaminated nature of the crime scene left investigators with zero actionable DNA or fingerprint matches that they could use.
So frustrating.
It is.
Like, literally, if we ever witness a crime, I will stand at the door with a bat and be like, get back!
I mean, it's unfortunate about the glass.
Yeah.
And the answering machine.
But keeping the family out.
Yeah. But if only they would have just not let people in. I'm sure they could have found something.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like, those two things, you know what? Absolutely fucking frustrating still.
Yeah.
But the whole, like, letting people touching the purse, all this stuff. Come on!
Like, you're police. Like, even if you don't know it's a crime scene yet, like, why are you letting people in?
Yeah.
Police looked into some criminal suspects in the mid-90s. Robert Craig Cox was a convicted kidnapper, robber, and former military man who was living in Springfield in 1992. He was interviewed by investigators multiple times, including a high-profile 1996 prison interview. While his girlfriend initially provided an alibi, she later recanted it, prompting a grand jury investigation. However, there was insufficient evidence to charge him with anything.
Yeah.
Larry Dwayne Hall was a suspected serial killer questioned by the FBI regarding dozens of abductions across the Midwest. We'll have to add him to the case.
I was going to say, is he on the list? Is he on the list? Put him on the list.
Investigators interviewed him to see if his timeline as a Civil War reenactor put him in the Springfield area on June 7, 1992, but they didn't find anything to directly link him to the disappearance. That's kind of scary. A Civil War reenactor, serial killer.
Probably got off on something.
Mm-hmm.
That's gross.
Gerald Carnahan was a local Springfield businessman who was later convicted of the 1985 murder of another local young woman named Jackie Johns. Because of his violent criminal history in the area, detectives scrutinized and interviewed him for potential ties to the three women, but he was never connected. On December 31st, 1992, a man called the America's Most Wanted hotline with information about the women's disappearance. But the call was disconnected when the switchboard operator attempted to link him up with Springfield investigators. Police said the caller had, quote, prime knowledge of the abductions, unquote, and publicly appealed for the man to contact them, but he never did. So who knows if that was just a fluke call or...
There's so many of that, so...
In June of 1997, at the 5-year mark of their disappearance, Sherrill Levitt and Suzie Streeter were legally declared dead to allow family members to settle their estates.
Oh, that's sad.
It is. Stacy McCall's family declined to declare her dead, still holding out hope.
Oh, fuck me up.
Mm-hmm. Because there was no physical evidence, DNA, or signs of a struggle left at the home on East Delmar Street, aside from the broken porch light, I guess, investigators and true crime profilers have had to rely heavily on circumstantial evidence. Over the decades, the investigation has narrowed down to 4 primary overarching theories regarding who targeted the house and why. Theory 1 is Suzie was the target. This theory suggests that the perpetrator was someone known to Suzie Streeter who held a personal vendetta against her. Months prior to the disappearance, Suzie's ex-boyfriend Dustin Rekla and his friends, like I mentioned, were arrested for breaking into a local mausoleum to steal gold teeth from corpses.
Ew.
Yeah. Suzie had cooperated with the police and given a statement against them. She was rumored to be a key prosecution witness in their upcoming trial. So someone from that rowdy high school crowd might have sought retaliation to silence her or punish her for turning on them. Theory 2, Sherrill was the target. A prominent behavioral profile suggests that the perpetrator targeted the house specifically for Sherrill Levitt, which is also what I personally think. Sherrill was the only person expected to be sleeping at the house that night.
Mm-hmm.
Suzie and Stacy's decision to stay there was a last-minute spontaneous change of plans made at 2 a.m. Mm-hmm. An obsessed stalker, an angry acquaintance, or an aggressive former client of Sherrill's cosmetology business may have planned to ambush her alone. The twist is that upon breaking in or gaining entry, the perpetrator was likely shocked to find 2 additional 18 and 19-year-old girls inside, forcing them to abduct all 3 to leave behind 0 witnesses.
Yeah.
So I personally think that's what happened.
I also support the theory that they left in a car.
Yeah.
You know, like that I feel like there's no, unless we're talking aliens.
Yeah. Right.
You know, like I don't
Which
think.
you never know.
Yeah, like I will not ever ex-nay. Like, you always come at me with these disappearances, missing people and stuff. I'll never fucking ex-nay aliens as a possibility, okay?
You never know.
You know?
We don't freaking know.
We don't freaking know.
We don't have an answer, it means it's possible.
Yeah, it's possible, okay? So, but like, I do really support the theory. Like, they went in a car.
Yeah,
they were forced in a car.
Yeah, I definitely think Sherrill was the target because, yeah, she was supposed to be home alone that night. Who did it? I don't know. Someone that knew she was going to be alone that night.
Yes.
I don't know if she had an angry ex-boyfriend, or I didn't read anything about her being in a relationship or seeing anyone. But yeah, who would have taken her? I don't know, but I do think she was the target, and then someone just walked in and was like, "Crap, who are these other two women here?"
Yeah, gotta clean up loose ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theory 3 is a predator followed the girls. This This theory suggests that the crime was completely random, executed by a passing sexual sadist or serial predator. Suzie drove a highly distinct bright red car featuring a personalized Missouri license plate that read Sweeter, spelled Sweetr. Stacy was also driving a distinct red vehicle, so they're saying an experienced predator could have spotted the two teenagers driving home from the battlefield party at 2:15 a.m. He followed them to the quiet cul-de-sac on Delmar Street, watched them walk inside, and waited for the lights to go out before making his move.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, anything's possible, but I don't think that's super likely.
Yeah.
Theory 4 is a convicted serial predator was responsible. So the FBI and local police heavily investigated known violent predators who were active in Missouri in June of 1992. The two most prominent suspects to fit these distinct theories are the Robert Cox theory, who I mentioned, that lived in Springfield in 1992. His alibi was later retracted by his girlfriend. He fit the physical description of a man seen driving a suspicious green van near the house that morning. He later teased reporters from a Texas prison, stating he knew the women were dead and buried and where they could, quote, never be found. The Larry Dwayne Hall theory, who I also discussed, was a traveling Civil War reenactor and suspected serial killer. True crime profilers believe Hall frequently stalked young women outside of community events in high schools, and his traveling timeline put him in the regional area during the graduation weekend. So, I mean, possible.
Possible, yeah.
Regardless, the most persistent question in all theories is how a single abductor managed to control 3 grown women without causing a massive, loud struggle inside a small home.
True.
The FBI's VICAP profilers concluded that a single, highly confident perpetrator wielding a firearm could easily control the room. By threatening to shoot one woman, such as holding a gun to one's head, the abductor could easily force the other two to comply, bind themselves, or walk out to a waiting vehicle, likely a large van, without making a sound. Which is very possible.
Yeah, like, it really is, yeah.
If someone pointing a gun at you or someone you love is very scary, and you would likely comply.
Yeah. We talked about it an episode or two ago.
Yeah, in the Larry Jean Bell episode, I think we discussed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what we would like to think we would do.
This cause a scene. But in the moment, like, that might not be how you react.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Because that's, like, also, like, what I always think in this case, like, how did one person get these 3 women if it was one person?
3. It was more. It was more than one person.
Or the gun theory is correct, that it was one and they just all complied and followed. Especially if they're holding a gun to someone's head. Like, that's scary.
It is. Yeah.
The most recent theory in this case is the parking garage theory. In 2002, a local prominent tip surfaced claiming the bodies were buried in the foundation of a new parking garage at Cox Health Hospital, which was under construction around that era. The search occurred not by police, but through private funding. In 2010, an independent mechanical engineer and a reporter hired experts to scan the garage floor using ground-penetrating radar. They identified 3 distinct structural anomalies consistent in shape with graves. The Springfield Police Department reviewed the data, but declined to excavate, citing that the concrete for that section of the garage wasn't poured until mid-1993, more than a year after the abductions, making it highly unlikely that an abductor hid bodies there undetected for 14 months. So to this day, no physical trace, article of clothing, or piece of forensic evidence has ever been recovered from any search location.
Yeah. We got nothing.
Nothing.
We got nothing.
So 3 women vanished and not a single trace of anything has ever been found.
Nope.
As of 2026, the disappearance of the Springfield 3 remains an active but completely unsolved cold case investigation. The case hit a somber milestone, making 34 years since the women vanished from the East Elmore Street home this year. Over the years, small additions from Crime Stoppers and private community donations have created a reward for information. Its current figure of $43,000 remains officially active through the Springfield Police Department for information leading to the location of the women or conviction of those responsible. The passage of time has deeply affected the victims' families. Janice McCall, Stacy's mother, has spent more than 3 decades serving as a tireless advocate, working alongside regional missing persons organizations to ensure the community never forgets Stacy, Suzie, or Sherrill. While Sherrill Levitt and Suzie Streeter were legally declared dead in 1997 to resolve their estates, they are still officially classified as missing by law enforcement. A permanent dedication bench continues to stand inside the Victims' Memorial Garden at Springfield Phelps Grove Park, serving as a localized monument to the 3 lives that vanished in a single night. At the time of her disappearance, Sherrill Elizabeth Levitt was 5 feet 0 inches tall, 110 pounds, with short light blonde hair, brown eyes, and pierced ears. Suzanne Elizabeth Streeter, Suzie, was 5 feet 2 inches, 102 pounds, with shoulder-length blonde hair and brown eyes. Her distinguishable marks included a scar on her upper right forearm, a small mole on the left corner of her mouth, and pierced ears. The left ear is pierced twice. Stacy Kathleen McCall was 5 feet 3 inches, 120 pounds, with long dark blonde hair and light-colored eyes. So they were all small women.
Very small.
Easily to take.
Very small.
If anyone has information on the disappearance of these women, you can contact the Springfield Police Department. You can call the dedicated tip line at 417-864-1810 or the main department at 417-864-1815. Greater Springfield Crime Stoppers, you can call at 417-869-TIPS, which is 8477. You do not have to give your name to be eligible for the $43,000 reward. So somebody needs to call in and give information. Yeah, someone knows. Someone knows what happened. If you want to contact the FBI, you can submit a tip online at tips.fbi.gov or contact the FBI's Violent Criminal Apprehension Program VICAP at 800-634-4097. And that's the mysterious disappearance of the Springfield 3.
That's sad and frustrating all at the same time. The lack of evidence due to negligence by the family is very frustrating. Mm-hmm. And it's very sad that then 3 people are gone. Yeah. That's it. Nothing.
A mom and 2 teenagers.
Yep. That's
just graduated high school.
Nothing.
The day before.
Yep.
About to start their lives.
Nothing.
And we got nothing.
Makes me sick.
It's like, what is the motive here?
Yeah.
That's why, we're not really going to know who could have possibly done it without a motive and figuring out who was the target.
Yeah.
Was this random? Someone just broke in? That doesn't... I don't think it was anyone random.
Makes me sad.
Someone knew. One of these women.
It makes me extra sad because, Kirsten, you always tell these stories.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we'll ever fucking know.
I know.
I really don't. Especially these from the 90s or earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think
without remains, we're not going to know.
We're never going to fucking know. Mm-hmm. Even if we get those remains. What if they were strangled? We got nothing. We just bones.
Yeah, it's true.
Nothing.
But I'd be curious to know if we found all 3 sets of remains in the same spot.
And where.
Yeah.
It would maybe give something, but...
Because that is the thing. Clearly they were abducted.
Yeah.
But where were they taken?
Yeah.
Where are they now?
Fuck, that's scary.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
Yeah, because we have no idea who did it. It could have been a neighbor down the street.
Yeah. Yep.
That was stalking.
Tonight. Yep, tonight's the night. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suzie's out of the house. She just graduated. Tonight's the night I'm taking Sherrill. Oh, just kidding. Suzie's here with her friend.
Gotta do them all?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah.
Snatched.
We just don't know who.
There's Larry Jean Bell. Mm-hmm. Snatched, what was it, Denise? No, the next one, Sandy, I think. Mm-hmm. One of them. Fuck names. The one that was at her house and her boyfriend her fiance had left for the night and she was just snatched out of her home. How scary is that?
It is. Or even Sherry, who was snatched right out of her mailbox.
Mailbox, yes. Just snatched. Gone.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's crazy. And in this case, the fact that they didn't, I mean, no obvious evidence that we could find because it was contaminated. But still, there was nothing obvious left. Like, no blood.
Nothing.
How did one person do this if it was one person?
And what's...
Nothing left behind? Why is there no struggle inside?
Why is there broken glass, but the bulb wasn't broken? You would think if your goal of breaking a light, you're going to break the light.
Yeah.
You know? Like...
Yeah, or if one of the girls was, like, kicking and punching.
That's another thing, yeah.
They could have...
taken out the back door.
Yeah. They could have hit the light that way. But it is surprising that the bulb stayed intact.
And no blood then.
Yeah, and then there's no blood if they did cut themselves.
You're punching
on
a
the
light
glass,
or whatever. Yeah. Unless, I mean, a sneaker, I guess, if you, like, kicked it. But...
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't know. We can sit here and theorize.
Yeah, all day.
All day?
Mm-hmm.
Per usual for your cases, really.
Yeah. So please leave us your theories in the comments because I want to know.
I want to know what you think.
I need answers.
Yeah. Yep. For all these.
Yeah.
We want answers.
Yeah.
I unfortunately don't know if we'll ever get them, but...
I know. I just hope that one day when we die, we all go to a place where you can see everyone that's died is all there together, and we can get answers that way and can ask them, what happened?
Yeah. What happened to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I hope someday.
Yeah. Who's first on your list to ask?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
There's
a loaded
so many.
one.
I want to know what happened to John Benet Ramsey.
I knew you. Yes, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I want to know what happened to John Benet.
Yeah. But then also another disappearance we haven't covered yet, Bryce Laspisa. That one's a really bizarre. I want to know what happened to him. Where'd he go? And the very first case we covered, Brianna Maitland.
Yeah.
Where is she?
The one you
There's
haven't
so many.
covered yet? Or no, you did. What's the one you haven't covered yet that you really want to? That's the big disappearance. There's one. Starts with an M, I think. I'd have to go back through the list.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't think off the top of my head.
But there's a big one that you told me about, and I watched a documentary on it.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, wow. Okay, yeah. Yeah. So that one I think would be it.
Okay. Yeah, there's so many cases. I mean, even for like unsolved murders, it's like, who did this to you? You know?
Yeah.
You want to ask them?
My thing, because I love serial killers and stuff, I always wonder, like, how many more victims do they have?
Yeah.
That they got away with.
Yeah.
Because they were already caught. They didn't need to sit here and confess anymore.
Right. Because even in our Lurking in the News, I recently covered one where a Ted Bundy victim was discovered that he killed her.
And he
just
never
recently
mentioned her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy. To me, I like those things intrigue me. Of like, how many more could there be?
Right.
It's crazy.
You never know.
Yeah. Well, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and check us out on all of our other social medias.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already. Hit the bell to be notified of future uploads and keep looking around for our next video. Bye!